Glenn, congratulations, Ali Pali debut, ticked off. Just sum up how that felt and the performance.
I think that's the most nervous. I can't think of a time I've been more nervous going into a match. Preparation was okay. Sort of Mac Elkin sort of wanted me there a little bit earlier than I guess I would normally go to. But God, what a stage. An insane atmosphere, and I say to anybody, you know, you've got to come to Ali Pali.
Did it live up to all the expectations?
Oh, and more, and more. I mean, when you play Lakeside, it's intimate. When you play Ali Pali, I mean, I could sense that Fallon was on next. Just there was a real, I mean, as you talk to me now, she's doing a walk on, and I could sense that in the room. Me and Damon are slow players. So there was, you know, we were never going to excite the crowd, so it was going to be this monumental game. But I could sense a real anticipation in the crowd tonight. It was everything I thought it would be and more. First
set wasn't really you. Down to nerves in that one?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I don't know averages. I remember a 170 somewhere. I don't know if that was the first set or the second. Oh, was that second set? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just. It was hard. It was a bit like maybe the parallel was Q School, where I felt like I wanted to make a statement. I wanted that, you know, Ryan Searle maybe beat me to it by getting that over the 100 average. I could sense that during the tournament that nobody's really hit that big average up there, and there's no reason why. The throw is immense. It's going to be an unbelievable tournament going for, you know, from the last 32 onwards, and I'm a happy man being in it.
We know you watch nearly every dart thrown. What was it like sat at home, ticking the days off, because to wait nearly 9 days is a long time, isn't it?
I did a lot of exhibition work the back end of November, early December. I couldn't believe the luck I had with the schedule, because it gave me 10 or 11 days really to you know, just get a couple of things right. And of all the people that helped me, Matt Edgar, I've had a bit of banter with him on Twitter, but he felt that my balance was wrong, and I was sort of putting my foot to the hockey rather than be flush to the hockey, and that for me, that was the difference in the last couple of days of practice there. So of all the people in the world, he's the guy that probably, you know, got me through that game.
Daryl Gurney up next, someone you've had a great battle with in the Premier League this year. Looking to redress that, and does that have any bearing on the game?
I mean, first of all, he was terrific tonight. I mean, I practiced with Justin Piper, who hit a 9-darter with me in practice. You know, I missed a 9-darter, he hit one. I genuinely thought that Justin might have even gone on to beat Daryl, because me and Daryl went for a practice and we felt that the throw was long on the stage. So I genuinely thought that Justin would have a tough game, but I'm glad it's Daryl. I'm glad it's Daryl. If I'm going to have aspirations of being in the Premier League and World Series, then, you know, you've got to beat people like Daryl Gurney. All his seeds have gone out, but none in my section. So, you know, if I'm going to get to the latter stages, I'm going to do it the hard way.
Touching on the Premier League, I know it's the big dream of yours. What do you think you need to do here, apart from win it, to get yourself in it?
Quarter-final is what I feel. I would love to play Daryl Gurney, and I have a dream. I have a dream to play Chris Dobey in the last 16. Just an amazing man, a great man, but a Smoggy versus a Geordie would be something really, really special for me, and I would leather him.
Obviously, Fallon's the fairy tale we've had so far.
I would leather him. I would smash him. Dobey, I'm the king of the north. Don't forget that boy.
Obviously, Fallon's the fairy tale at the moment, but there's another fairy tale brewing underneath, that you could be the only unified champion. Thought about that at all, that moment?
No, for me, it's all about Fallon. I've tried to champion ladies darts. I'm a huge fan of Lisa. Lisa smashed many a man on the Challenge Tour this year. Dita beat Aaron Turner, Anastasia beat Vincent van der Voort. She has lifted this sport and ladies darts, and just listen to that crowd right now, because she's an amazing player. It's been an amazing week for ladies darts, and I wish them all the very, very best. And this week is all about being about Fallon.
Glenn, absolute pleasure as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Glenn, just what were your thoughts when the draw came out? Because to be either facing Damon or a good friend, you know, obviously Jose, it's a very tough draw, isn't it, for your first PDC World Championship?
I was on the train from a media day with the PDC. and I watched the draw, and all I wanted was the ball to come out very high, because 1 was Jamie Hughes, 32 was Mickey Mansell, so I felt like the higher the ball, the better for me. And number 2 come out, and I was like, who could that be? And Jose, for me, has demonstrated amazing talent on the floor, and I really wanted to play Jose, because for me, he's yet to show it on a stage. Damon is a World Series winner. He's won the Australian Open, and I was one of the few who felt that Damon could win the game, so I was fairly happy with the draw.
And just talk to me about the change in walk-on song.
Mac Elkin's my manager. He decided all that, and what a success it was. They were all singing to me. I gave him a bit of a hard time at breakfast this morning, because when he told me what I was walking onto, but I think that'll be my walk on now for a long, long time.
Thank you very much.
Just a few from me, Glenn. Hearing that 3-time Lakeside champion of the world, how did that feel going up to?
Well, you know, Phil talked about I was nervous the first set. If you watch that walk on, I looked very, very nervous. I'm sure I did. But when I heard John McDonnell say the 3-time champion, you see me going champion of the world. It's a real honour to be that. I could bore you for hours and tell you how much I didn't feel like a world champion as a Lakeside champion, because I got a lot of people who disregarded that title, and I felt like this year, when I've done really well, that's made them 3 titles sort of mean something to me. But right now, it's all about the undisputed champion of the world, and it's an enormous task. But that's what I'm hoping for.
Speaking of Damon, what do you think of him as a player, and having gone through Q School yourself last year, with him going there in a few weeks' time, what do you make of his chances going to Wigan?
I think he's quite similar to me, slow, deliberate, methodical. The only problem when you're that is that you think a little bit. He's a World Series winner, he's the DPA #1, he's got everything going for him. Carl Anderson was waxing lyrical about him today, and he said, "You've got a hard game, Glenn, but I wish him all the best." Q School is, it's brutal. Q School is it's incredibly difficult, but I wish him all the very, very best.
You ended up touching as well on Justin Pike practicing with you. How is it having him on the same team now as a result with Mac Elkin?
I mean, quite selfishly, it's immense for me. We're both quite boring. We're both quite slow. And when we practice, we put our music in, we don't talk, we just play games, and he suits me down to the ground. I genuinely thought he was going to give Darryl a really tough game, and felt that he was going to beat him.
Speaking of your next game, how is preparation going to go ahead of that? What are you going to do?
Well, that's my favourite question, because Christmas is going to be so much better now. I'm driving very, very early in the morning. I've been so nervous today because my daughter drove. She's got Fiat 500, 5-hour drive for her, and I rang my wife at one point, and I had 4 missed calls with her, and I was panicking like mad, and that was because my wife had fell asleep in the car. It's just going to make Christmas really good. I'll be practicing. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to be driving really early down on Boxing Day again, and the 27th can't come early enough for me.
Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Glenn, as far as debutants go, we've seen a lot of youngsters, but would you say you've been about the block, you've been around the dance scene for a while, did that suit you as a debutant? You've got the experience this year on the PDC Tour, but also from the BDA days. Do you feel like that was an advantage compared to maybe someone brand new to the game?
Yeah, I like that question too. I wish I was 25, I wish I was 30-year-old. The PDC is just an unbelievable product. £16 million we're playing for next year, and you know, gosh, I wish I was 25, 30-year-old. I've got to manage my body now. I've got to, my practice regime, and I watched Gary Anderson. I was nodding my head so much because my knee hurts, my back hurts, my arm hurts, and things like that, because I've got to sort of look at the way I play now, and maybe experience got me through that game there. There was a couple of players there who were giving it large to the crowd after 3 darts. Then Rob, I watched him thinking, just focus on the board, just play the board, and I think that's where experience comes. And Lakeside's a special place to play darts, and you've just got to replicate that on the Ali Pali stage. And that for me is the best stage I've ever played on.
Well, you touched on fitness there. Do you think some of these, for example, young players like our Josh Paynes, Vandenberg, do you think their fitness really helps for sort of longer formats going along with the
Oh gosh, especially when it's as warm as it was up there. I mean, hotter the better for me. I mean, it was ridiculously warm at Blackpool, and I got through that somehow, but that's my 2020 aim. I've got to be fitter. I've got to eat better, I've got to train better, I've got to look after myself a little bit better in 2020. And I think that's where the game is going now. It's all about academies. I come through workingmen's clubs. It's a totally different genre now. It's, you know, these kids are coming through and they're having a glass of Coke before they play, and they're fit, they're strong. And for me, that's why Gerwyn Price is playing so well right now, and something I'm definitely thinking about the 2020.
Is that any harder for how intense the PDC circuit is? You're playing a lot of events. Is it difficult to get that balance of fitness and playing so much and getting the practice in?
Yeah, that's my conundrum for next year. And the loneliness as well. You know, I was in hotel rooms, I was in Germany, Holland. You know, I'm a guy who likes to be at home, I'm a guy who likes to be in my own bed. But, you know, they're the kind of things that, you know, they're the obstacles. But you're in the PDC, you're playing against the best player in the world, you're getting well paid. It's just an unbelievable place to be doing things. And I worked 33 years sat behind an office, earning whatever I did. You know, I earned tonight what I would earn a year in housing, so it's no complaints from me.
I was going to say, going back to money, obviously the difference between, you know, the smaller amount in the video coming to that big potential payout from the PDC, has that opened up a whole new level of motivation, knowing that that's up there?
No, I'm no interest in money. I paid my mortgage off. I didn't buy a big house, I didn't buy a big car. I've got a nice car, I've got a nice house. I put my daughter on the property ladder. No, motivation's not my inspiration or anything like that.
So would you say it's a relief not having that worry then?
Yeah, definitely. I used to wake up. In 2011, I was 140 grand in debt, mortgage, loan, credit card. Now I'm mortgage free, I've got money in the bank, but I didn't go and spend big. I made sure my tax and everything was sorted. And again, that goes back to the experience, maybe because I'm a little bit older. I didn't go and buy a big fancy car, I didn't go and buy a big house. I just feel like I've probably done things right. And you're just looking at the next steps now. You know, that's all I'm doing right now. 2020 could be a huge year. And I'm looking at, you know, Premier League's a possibility, you know, and I know exactly what's on that Daryl Gurney game. I know exactly what's on that game against Mensa, Chris Dobey, Fallon next. I know that, and that's my motivation.
And coming back to it, do you think having a great management team behind you helps you with all of this change? Is that really helps you?
I would rather say family. Mac Elkin's a tremendous person, and we've done 3 Lakesides together. But my wife's here tonight. I hope you saw my daughter shouting tonight on the TV. I had 20 people here tonight. I had the Great Britain rowing squad here tonight from Henley. You know, because they're from Teesside. I've got an excellent fan base, and I think Fallon's doing quite well now. So it's unbelievable. So I practiced with her tonight. She's amazing.
Brilliant. Thanks, Captain.
Thank you.
Okay.